All right, so welcome back to this episode of In the Trenches. And today I have a special, actually a returning guest. I have Josh Smith, VP of Marketing with Scorpion Home Services. Welcome, Josh, to the show.
It's good to be here, Dan. Thanks for having me.
Good, man. Well, today I'm excited because we're really bringing the people watching out there on Facebook the most current information we can when it comes to marketing questions for home service businesses. And, that's one thing that I asked, or that you have done with these questions is you polled your account managers there at Scorpion, and they gave you the top 5 questions that these business owners are asking out there. So without any further ado, let's start with the first one, because I've heard this a lot from my clients, and we're seeing this really across the nation. But why are we seeing the cost per lead for paid search advertising going up right now?
Yeah, it's a good question. And it is commonly asked, though I do want to draw a distinction when it comes to some of these questions. While these are typically asked pretty frequently, this isn't by any means like blanketed across the nation, like everybody is having the same kind of challenges. But this is something that comes up more and more frequently. And for those of you who are not aware, paid search or PPC, it's referring to the paid portion of the search results page when somebody's performing a search for a plumber or an AC repair or a tune-up. And it's that section that has the little ad marker right next to it. And CPL, or cost per lead, for this area, we have seen in several areas go up. And for specific clients, it has a tendency to increase over time, and it ebbs and flows with seasonality as well. The first thing that I would kind of say to look at when it comes to this particular question is you really, to understand the mechanics of how it actually works. And the best analogy I found to use with this is it operates like an auction. So if you're in an area where you're getting a lot of competition, more players are entering the market, more players are entering into the paid search game when it comes to their marketing platform or their marketing program, that's going to increase the cost of those leads, because the cost to do business in that area, or the cost to advertise, is going to increase. It operates like an auction. Basically, the keywords you're bidding on and the positions you're going after are the things that you're bidding for. And the more people that are willing to bid for those, the bids are going to increase. So that is one aspect that we've seen. You also got to take into account the area that you're in, and obviously the seasonality. So larger populated areas typically lend themselves to more competition. And you also have seasonal fluctuations as well. So busy season has more competition entering into the market. And that's driving up the cost of those clicks. So it's a PPC campaign, or a pay-per-click, meaning you're paying for every click that's driving somebody to your website. So a few things that I would look at when it comes down to this: it isn't just about the click. I wouldn't say stay on the click if you want to optimize this particular channel to get those lead costs down. You really got to take a look at what searches are customers performing that you're actually showing up for. And are those really relevant? Are they relevant to you, to your business? Are they going to put you in the best position to actually generate a phone call beyond the click? And it's really important to look at that. Look at your conversion rates as well. Conversion rates can be down. We're seeing conversion rates down in certain parts of the US right now because of the COVID crisis right now. We are going to see those continue to pick up, though, as we move into the summer months, as restrictions are released throughout the country. So this is something to keep in mind, that seasonal fluctuations are going to happen. And while there are some areas, in all honesty, across the country where the cost per lead is so high that our margins as home service business owners, we can't compete with the margins. The clicks are what they are. It's generated by, obviously, the competition. And so some areas where you might be generating, for particular parts of your business, you're generating a $100 click, and it's turned into a $400 lead. It might not be viable to run that as a particular part of your marketing strategy. You might want to start looking at alternatives to lead generation that are going to generate lower cost leads. So that's some of the background behind what we're seeing when it comes to CPL, or lead cost for paid search.
Well, that's great information. And I've heard some business owners talking about actually pulling their funds out of their PPC campaigns. To me, that sounds a little bit crazy, and reallocating it, because I know marketing it's moving. There's so many moving pieces, and they all kind of play a role. But can you help kind of explain, is that a good thing, or is that a bad thing to pull the money out of that?
Yeah, it's a great question. We do get that one as well. And I think there's a few things you got to keep in mind. If you're working with a marketing agency or a marketing partner, somebody outside, somebody internal at the organization, you really got to make sure your ROI reports or return on investment reports when it comes to your channels. Getting them a full customer list of the clients that you retained over the course of the past month or even the past quarter, so they can run and marry that data together with what they're seeing from lead generation, so you can actually see which channels are producing ROI. That's the first step that I would take, is you got to see what's actually producing. It's not just enough to look at clicks. It's not enough to look at leads, to look at overall spend. You want to see what's producing dollars. That's the only reason why I would start to think about moving funds around when it comes to marketing, is if you're consistently over a long period of time not realizing ROI in a particular area. That being said, you don't want to make rash decisions about moving your dollars from one place to another at all. I'll give you a good example of this. The stock market is such a great analogy when it comes to marketing. I was invested in a particular stock. The stock took a dive, and this just happened a couple weeks ago, and I got a little squirrely on this stock, and it's always not a good idea to get squirrely. I pulled out of the stock, lost, 5% of my investment or whatever it was. And then the stock skyrocketed literally 3 days later, to the point where I would have, if I just was patient and stood the test of time, it would have gone up with that. My investment would have been tenfold what it was to when I pulled out. And it's a very similar trend. Again, it's got seasonal aspects. Sometimes there might be a month where HVAC isn't performing that great for that particular campaign. You might want to move those funds to plumbing if you see that that consistent pattern over the course of the next month, to boost up the plumbing leads, and start looking for HVAC leads in different channels. There's a lot of different lead generation channels, and all of them have different costs associated with them. And the best approach is to really put together a married mix of all of these channels working together. For example, if you're not in LSAs or local service ads, that's the cheapest channel that you can get right now when it comes to Google paid search channels. You're paying for every lead, not every click. And those leads are very inexpensive, but there's trade-offs too. Paid search, you have a lot more control over who you're getting in front of, when you're getting in front of them, and how you optimize that campaign. Local service ads, you don't know how much you're going to be able to spend or how many leads it's going to generate. You don't have as much control in that particular channel, but you should still be there and be present. And so you want to have a healthy media mix when it comes to moving your dollars around, and understand the mechanics of the short versus the long-term impact that pulling funds from any particular channel is going to have. That's probably the best thing to look at when it comes to that. But don't make quick decisions based off a week's worth of data. You definitely want to take a look at a month, 2 months, see the consistency, make sure you're making changes during that time to make the campaign perform better, and then speak with your marketing manager or marketing agency to make sure that you're in full tie with everything that they're doing.
Okay, that's killer information. And to break it down for, I'm sure there's some business owners out there watching this like, whoa, it's a lot of information. But really, in a nutshell, is that you should be in constant contact with your marketing manager, whatever place you're marketing with, and also looking at ROI should be done, I think, really in a total form, meaning that total revenue brought in by all the campaigns divided by money invested into all the campaigns, instead of trying to break down ROI for every single little campaign, because that will drive you crazy, because funds are changing and different, it's all fluctuating as the demand happens. And so I want to dive in a little more too. So as far as the Google reviews, that's really a question I have too, is why are they not showing up on the Google My Business page right now? Or if they are, why are they just starting to trickle in? Can you explain more about that?
Yeah, it's a great question. So for those who aren't aware, back at, I think the third week of March, around March 20th or so, Google announced they were not allowing reviews to be posted to Google My Business pages. So that's your business profile with Google, and that they were not allowing business owners to reply to reviews. Now, they did this mainly to protect business owners, so people didn't issue negative reviews based off COVID-related things that were not controllable. They really wanted to make sure they were being conscious of the business owner during that time. And so at the beginning of April, we saw Google release the ability to reply to reviews. So you had the ability to reply to reviews, but you still didn't have new reviews coming in. Over the course of the past week, they've been, as far as we've been able to ascertain and the information we've gotten from Google, from our Google partners, they've started to slow release different areas and different different trades to have the ability to have those reviews posted that were like sitting in limbo for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Starting to get posted now. So we're seeing that over the course of probably since the beginning of May when we started to see it in the restaurant industry. And so we're starting to see that trickle into some of the home service industries. So it should be over the course of May, we're probably going to see those reviews start to flood back in. But there's not been a definitive statement from Google yet on this. So this has just been what we've been able to see on our end by doing our own investigations for our clients.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing that they stopped it to regulate it, but I can speak for a lot of companies out there, and we are ready to see those things open back up, and get that momentum moving forward. And, and just in wrapping this up, I know, Josh, that yourself and the whole Scorpion Home Services team has been putting out a ton of great current information. And I really want people out there watching that want more information about what we're talking about today. Where can they go to find that information?
Yeah, absolutely. We actually have a resource center on the Scorpion website. Get the link for you here. It's scorpion.co/home-services/resource-center. And on that page, you'll have the ability to take a look at all the video topics that we're putting out. We have webinars with a bunch of different industry experts in a lot of different trades. So you have great information from them. We have panel discussions. We also have the latest Google information, blogs, infographics, and videos that you can use to spread around and use them for your own marketing collateral. So it's a wealth of resource. We also have some just good content stuff for you to be able to use and continue to get and stay in front of your current customers, be present and top of mind. So it's a great place to go.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that. And everybody watching today, I know we're trying to condense this into about 10 minutes or so. Really just a bite size, get some great information out there to the home service business owners. And so Josh, just kind of wrap this up. If you're speaking directly to them and they're concerned about their marketing as these markets start to open back up, what's just to sum it all up for them? Is there anything else you want to share?
Yeah, I think the best thing to do is don't stop communicating with your marketing team. When it comes to your marketing, we've talked on, obviously, Dan, we talked last time about don't pull things out, really assess where the hurt is and the pain point is for the business. That's still at play, and it's just a common sense business tactic that we all should be employing. But don't stop the communication level with your marketing team. In fact, intensify it, enhance it. Make sure you guys are having the ROI discussion across all your marketing. I love what you said, Dan, about looking at it holistically. Your marketing team is going to take a look at the channels too and see how we need to shift funds around. The goal isn't to make ROI stagnant. It's to continue to move ROI in a positive direction. The more communication you have with your marketing team, the more that's going to be able to be a reality, because they're going to be able to advise based on the goals and based off the current pain points that you have. And also share your call boards with your marketing team. That gives a great insight into where the hurt is day to day. So that way, if you're booked 3 days out for plumbing, but HVAC, you're only booked a day out, you got to shift resources to make sure HVAC is pulling in leads. Plumbing's not a concern right now. So that's a constant ebb and flow, and the communication aspect is so important.
Awesome. Well, Josh, I appreciate your time again. And I know we want to get more engagement and wish we had a little more time, but if y'all have any questions for Josh, be sure to drop them in the comments here and he'll go back and answer some of those questions for you. But anyways, thank you again. Thank y'all for watching, and we'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.